Okay, this is just a quick update of the progress I've made so far on this thing. The Phoenix Models Super Decathlon. And like I said in the earlier video, I was gonna fly this thing in the stock configuration at first, just kind of get the feel of it, and then I may go with my bush plane idea. But honestly, I kind of like it like this, so we'll see. It's a good looking plane. Anyways, so right here we have a Sato 82A, or a FS 82A that I picked up off a guy from Craigslist. He let me have it brand new for a pretty good price, and it runs great. I've got it all tuned in and broken in already. Moving on back, here we got the, due to the bigger engine, I went with a bigger tank. This is a 16-ounce tank, and here's the stock tank. It's a decent amount bigger. Can't remember what size this tank is. And let's see, to make this tank fit, here is this bracket that it came with. This bracket, it normally goes flipped up and it goes on these tabs here, but it wouldn't fit because this tank's quite a bit larger, so I had to move it back here and glue it into place like so. And got the foam in there, and it's not really bolted in or anything, but by the time you put this thing on here, which I actually had to modify to fit, that used to go straight across, but I had to butcher it a little bit to get this to fit. And by the time you put this thing in here, that tank ain't going nowhere, and it fits nice. And then back here, now when I built this thing, I did not plan on putting a smoke system on it, but I saw this little Perry valve in the local hobby shop when I went to get my servos. I just thought, that'd be cool. Let's build this on. Now I'm hoping this will work, because they usually have some kind of pump. I've never done a smoke kit before, and I don't know a lot about them, but I'm hoping this idea is going to work. And what my idea is hopefully, since this is up high, it will help gravity feed the oil down and along here and up through here into the valve. See, that is closed, open. And once the valve opens, hopefully gravity will help push this oil in, and I still have yet to drill some kind of hole in here and figure out some way to inject the oil. And also my idea was the vent tube. That wasn't good. Anyways, the vent tube, I was probably going to run maybe some kind of tube, I don't know, somewhere down in here. That's like a little ram air hole, some kind of tube that comes out as a ram air hole, and have this vent line here hooked up to that ram air. So between the ram air pressure and the gravity feed, hopefully it will work. We'll see, I guess. Like I said, I don't know a lot about smoke systems, but hopefully that will eliminate the need of a pump. And then moving on back here, got the Castle Creations BC. Nice little receiver pack. Alright, and that is my servo setup on the ailerons and the elevator. Both ailerons and the elevator, I got HS 645 Metal Gear servos from High-Tech. And I will probably upgrade the rudder servo to a Metal Gear. Right now that's just the standard Futaba plastic gear, as well as the throttle servo. And I'll probably end up upgrading that rudder before I fly it. Not sure how necessary Metal Gear is on the rudder, but I'll probably upgrade it anyway. Alright, what else? And then, of course, you got the switch mounted back here. Now, I saw a video of one of this same plane where a guy mounted it up here. I wish I'd have done that too because it looked a lot better. But oh well, no biggie. And if you're wondering what this is, I don't really have a whole lot of room in this little apartment. So what I've done is I reinforced that. Don't know if you can see that piece of wood or not, but it's reinforced with a piece of plywood and glued in. And my idea is, I'm picking the plane up by it right now, is to just hang it up there, which I think that would look neat anyway. Just let it hang from the roof, put one of these somewhere else or something, help it hang. And another thing I tried to do with this is located right on the CG. The manual calls for a 70 millimeter from the leading edge, but since I went with this bigger tank, I moved it back to about 85 millimeters, hoping that should work. I don't have a CG machine. I've usually always done it by hand, but with this much larger than a foamy model, it's kind of difficult to do that way. So I'm going to have to get me a CG machine, because I'm not sure. I had this hanging up, and I'm just not sure how well it was working. It's hard to tell. Alright. So, now the only problem with this thing I've ran into, and it's not a problem with the plane, but yeah, it's not a, let's move this thing around so you can see what's going on. It's actually a problem with the remote. Now this remote has worked great for everything else I've ever done. I've never really tried to play with the fancy settings in it though. So we got the ailerons, and this model doesn't have flaps. And instead of cutting into them, I decided to try flaperons, which they do work, sorta. So there's the flaps, and they do work. And I'm using this knob here to control them. But let's see what happens. Let's say you were in flight and you went to retract your flaps and you accidentally turned it up too much, and that happens. And you can't really set the end limits of it without setting the end limits of your aileron controls. So I have to figure that out. And obviously this right here would not be good in flight. Real planes have things that come up on the wings to diminish lift, and obviously you don't want to diminish lift in the air. So I'm not sure how really that would work, but I don't want to find out. So you'd have to be, which I ain't gonna do that obviously, but if I did, you'd have to be real careful with this knob and where you turned it to prevent that in the air. Now I saw on YouTube a video of where a guy, he doesn't use the flaperons, he uses a bunch of mixing settings in here, and I did the exact same thing he did. This is the same remote to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure this is the same thing as the Turnigy 9X. This is the Fly Sky, what is this thing called? TH9X. Pretty sure they're the same remote, but some reason that the mixing just doesn't work for me. He had it set up on this. I can't get anything. Like, you have to, on this remote, you have to assign channels to these buttons, but no matter it, I can't assign anything to this. It doesn't do nothing no matter what I assign to it. So right now I've got the smoke assigned here, and there's the flaperons. Definitely something I need to figure out. Or just go with the Y harness and not have flaps, maybe split it in two and have separate flaps. We'll see. From what I've been told, this plane flies fine without them. They don't really need or not told, from what I've read. So, and they got the fuel dot, so I can refill it. Still got to figure out a way to fill the smoke can. I didn't plan, like I said, I didn't plan on putting a smoke system on it. Got the exhaust deflector. And that about sums it up. Thank you for watching.